put this
Okay.
right here so I don't hit it. Can you see all right, Will? Can you
Yep.
see all right?
I see everything.
Just was blocking this with my mouse. I
Oh,
was
okay,
worried
yeah, no,
about that.
it's higher than the
Great.
laptop.
Okay.
Let's get going. Okay. This is a workshop meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Northeast. It is Monday, 19th at 4 p.m. And I would like to ask everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Take a roll call.
Yes. Supervisor Kennan,
Here.
Councilman Mayville,
Here.
Councilwoman Morrison, here, Councilwoman Winkler,
Here.
Councilwoman Cole.
Here.
And just as a reminder, this is a workshop meeting. We're just focusing on our work on the zoning. Workshop meetings don't have public comment. We're just going to work through what we have today. So, Edie, do you want to set the stage? We have received comments in writing
Yes.
and in person,
All right.
and we have them in front of us.
We
I
do.
don't know how you want,
I think-
how Will Agresta would like to maybe address them, or is there an order for them that you'd like to?
No, but there aren't that many, so I think we can just tick through them.
All right.
And I suggest we start with the Dutchess County Planning
Yeah, those are the both.
and then follow with the planning board. Those are the two required comment boards.
And then Edie,
Oh, okay.
Edie, and then I found them. Edie, then I found some things that hadn't been updated in that.
Yeah, this is.
So I have my cheat sheet with all the info.
Okay, all right.
I've got to get the planning board ones. I didn't get the planning.
Oh, I
board.
have mine here if you want to make a copy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'll do that real quick.
Now, do any of the board members have questions about the Dutchess County comments? Or shall we just go through them one by one?
Yeah, maybe one by one.
Okay, Will, take it away.
Okay, so the first one is about the definition of farm versus farm operation, which is, I think, a term that's in the market law. Actually, the current draft is agriculture / farm. That's really up to you. If you find the word needs to be different, it doesn't change the meaning, it just changes the wording.
I think why not make it the same as farm operations? They say it.
They use farm operation in 25 AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea to be consistent.
Okay. Agreeable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy. Agriculture tourism, I don't think the current draft is specific to that because we weren't really dealing with the ag properties in the residential districts as of yet. So I don't know if you want to jump into that now or put that off to when you do the residential districts. I'm not hearing anybody. Can you guys hear me? You guys look mute.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I hear you now. You hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
So basically, I mean, we have a list, right? And we're gonna be taking something away, I believe, in one of the next points, but there's a list under the definitions, right, of agricultural farm operations, it's probably gonna be, right? I mean, we could add agricultural tourism and just put a basic definition, couldn't we? Without adding it anywhere else, or no?
Well,
I think that's very complicated.
Okay,
that's a whole other topic.
It needs a lot of discussion. and-
so wait for that guy.
There's a
Yeah.
very extensive agritourism provision in the Red Hook Code that you might want to take a look at when we do that.
When
Okay,
we get to the next
Yeah,
section.
it's quite complicated and specific.
so that's
So it's
later.
But I would
resident-
recommend putting
under
anything in the
residential?
definition unless you have
Agriculture is
standards.
residential. I mean,
Permitted.
I mean, we would not address agriculture except for the sale of equipment.
Or residential.
And I'm putting an indoor.
It's called the ag district, even though it's not an ag district, so. It's mostly residential, but. we have the right
So
to
we could change it to farm operation, or we could leave it.
Well, we're keeping it, we're gonna change it to farm
Farm
operations. Operations,
Is that the wording they use in ag and markets? Farm
That's
operation.
yes, that's what I see.
Let's be consistent with that.
so
All right.
not deal with agricultural tourism right
It's a
now.
whole,
It's a big thing.
Okay, so,
you know,
well, the next one,
The next
Alright.
one is mobile home, manufactured
No.
home.
no, we're not there yet.
we
No,
have to,
And harvest.
The Farm and Harvest Festival is the next definition.
Yeah,
And I do agree, it shouldn't refer to farm store, it should just refer to that farm operation, because it would be related to the farm. Not necessarily just a store, it'd be a farm, so. I would change farm store to the farm operation definition.
okay, is that good? It's good with me.
so we're saying that farms can have farm and harvest festivals?
Well, we don't regulate that, they do, right?
No, you do regulate it, it's not, Ag and Mark doesn't regulate like that.
It's not
Like-
regulated.
But in the current draft, you're allowing it.
Okay,
The point is that and that the county pointed out, it's not related to a farm store, it's related to a farm.
right.
That's the nuance that needs to be fixed.
That should be fixed for sure.
Yeah, any farm, okay.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Mobile home,
We actually,
we're not
we're not
finished.
there yet, so,
Just a minute.
because they brought up, I'm sorry, later, somewhere they brought up taking out pig. Oh, yeah,
yeah, that comes down later in their comments.
It's later in the comments.
oh, okay.
What about the comment about ensuring that local regulations do not unreasonably restrict farming?
Well, that's really up to Ag and Market now, isn't it?
You know, it reminds me, we should send our zoning code to ag and markets. I think I mentioned this before. To make sure, have them take a look at it, make sure there's nothing in there that they feel is violative of the protection for farms under ag and markets.
At this point, or when we get to that
Yeah, I don't
section?
think we've done that much in the new zoning that's going to affect farms, right?
No,
Not yet.
basically creating a chart of our existing.
Yeah, yeah. If we're not including that in the current drafts, then there's no reason to send it to ag and markets, but when you do
Oh,
that,
yes.
Send it to Ag and Markets.
often they want to weigh in and say this is, they can weigh in on a case by case basis too. if somebody appeals something to ag and markets, it's overly restricted. But we're not changing anything in our current zoning code that would make this more restrictive for farms, so.
No.
So we can wait with that until we
Yeah.
get to the next phase. Okay, now I think we're on the mobile home.
Okay, so the definition of dwelling excludes mobile, it doesn't exclude mobile homes from being a dwelling. It excludes mobile homes from being used for transient accommodations. So I don't see a change needed in this definition.
Aren't they also just pointing out that the word is not used consistently in the
Oh.
attachment?
No,
Yeah.
mobile home in the draft is being eliminated. And I don't know if any exist in town. I forget that conversation we've had probably with the ZRC. But if there is one, it would make it non-conforming. It's just you can't have any new mobile homes. And again, if there's an existing mobile home, it can continue and it can be a home. This is not saying it's not a home.
We have them, and I think it's in the code here, isn't it?
We have two parts.
I thought we had both words in here. It's
Yeah,
just
they're in
in
there. They're in there. They're
So
being defined and they're being excluded.
I'm not catching your meaning.
They're no longer an option for a house.
I got that. I got that.
So are we suggesting that we need to change in what we have in the draft?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think isn't there a point that in the attachment on 1P under dwelling, it's excluded mobile homes, however, they do exist, so why
No.
would they be excluded?
They're misinterpreting the definition. It's not excluding mobile homes from being a home. It's excluding a mobile home if one exists from being transient accommodations.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the permitted uses, you have an X. We have an X next to it saying it's not allowed. I think
Correct.
that's what we're referring to.
Correct, and that is the intent going forward, that a mobile home would not be permitted. No new ones.
Are we permitting manufactured homes?
Manufactured home is permitted if it meets the building code.
That's right.
And that's what we
Because this-
talked about, the
this is essentially
definition difference. I think.
Terminology.
Yeah,
I just don't know why they would point it out if it's not something
Sometimes.
important, but I don't know.
I think they misinterpret the definition.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
I'll take another look at that.
Okay,
Mobile.
all right. Alternative land use development?
I think this was, ended up in the end being avoided because it was so in-depth. And then Bill had some points to it, that some of the verbiage, so we can go back to that section later, but I believe they're just saying to explain incentives more for these areas, but my understanding is that from the last meeting, it was.
I take it as a lot of call out to the section 2029D, which we can do, but why just these three sections and not all the sections that deal with the uses in the boulevard district? And at some point, your references, I mean, in the end, it's probably better to invest at the end after adopted a glossary that can even be interactive. but to keep putting standards, just referencing section numbers from section to section to section to section. Troubles with that is when you go to amend something, you have to go through every page of the code to make sure you've kept the numbering correctly. But again, if you want them in there, that's not a big deal to do.
But were our incentives developed to a point of maturity where everyone felt comfortable?
No,
Right, so, I mean, I think they're just making the point that it would be great to have later incentives, but we're not at that point.
No, I'm not reading it that way at all. They want a reference to the incentive section that's above it in the boulevard districts. To let you know that there's incentives that you can use along with these things. They've already, the incentive section is already, the word incentive is not saying it's performance modification, is already developed.
So, but our goal was incentivizing folks to add more residential, right? On the boulevard district, so it wasn't really about, I thought that's really what a lot of the footprints were extended for, in case we had residential over commercial or,
Yeah, those are those sections that were added to allow more forms of residential in the boulevard district.
so is it a problem to just add a point C incentives below or point whatever? Is that an idea?
Well, they're suggesting you put that in each one of these 3 sections, and my point is there's probably 5 other sections that would also apply. Do we put it in all of them, or do we just put it in these 3, or do we put it in none of them?
Well, if you put it in these 3, you gotta put them in all.
And if we put it in none of them, but make it clear that these are the incentives that apply,
Yeah,
it would seem to me that this refers back to them. In other
Yeah.
words,
if we say, can we just have another point, incentive C 180 dash blah, 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 in each one of them?
That's fine, but we should probably do that for the other ones too.
Then why not?
Mhm.
We
I
can.
think it just helps folks, without playing a roadmap, get to the same place.
Basically, what we're saying is what we should do for these, we should do for all of them that it applies to.
With an incentive, yes,
And,
yeah.
and make note that, referring back to the fact that you can apply. for
Incentives are
right.
available, C
Available.
point, whatever.
Right.
They just want us to be more explicit.
Yeah, so if we refer to it, at least it's there as a way for someone to go to that area, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's a good improvement.
Yeah, again, I do suggest you think about in the long run, after the code is adopted, investing in a glossary that is interactive, so that someone can go to the glossary and can find things more readily as well.
Yeah,
Yep,
I think later, but this is at least just something that notates they exist.
so,
So I'm in favor of doing it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
yep,
So we just need to be sure that it's captured in
Just a
all.
cross-reference.
In all references, right?
We're gonna have a red line of these changes
Yeah.
this time around, so.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask.
So
Yeah,
people
so
are
now-
aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's gonna be a red line update.
Okay, great.
Okay, so that's easy. You ready for the next one?
yep.
So drive-through, I think we went back and forth with calling it drive-through, drive-up, whatever, trying to get it down to one term. When I looked at this in response to these comments, I kind of am leaning towards changing it from a drive-through to drive-up. And just use the one term and kind of clean up the language where it's used so that it's used just as drive-up. As far as the queuing spaces go, the reason they're different is because there was a distinction between the bank being more of it doesn't say it, but it meant to be the manned station versus the ATM, which would be just the computer. And the reason for it is that obviously you spend more time when you're interacting with a person than you are with an ATM. We can make them both the same. We could keep it separate. That's up to you guys.
I don't think that distinction is true. Yeah.
Most banks I use also has an ATM available.
No, that's not what I said. I agree with you that you could have both. That's the other one. I'm sorry, that they could ask for 2 lanes. There's another thing. The ZRC didn't want that, but if you guys want to change it to 2 lanes, I can add language for that too.
Most have 2 or 3.
Yeah, if they have the space for that.
Yeah. But if we're saying 6 for a is bank spaces also, you say queuing, right? So
Yeah.
queuing,
Yeah.
is that for the window?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we have
Or the
6,
Or to the drive-through, you could queue for the drive-through.
yeah, so
Before
do
the
you
window.
you have to distinguish, like if a person has an ATM at the same place as a that's might be manned sometime and not other, we just say 6 instead of having 2 definitions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could make just one.
Okay,
Didn't we need the word drive-through for other things like the restaurant?
Well, again, we were making it all as one term, and I don't think restaurants have the drive-through too.
We did that for before Tello, right? Is that a drive up or a
That was,
drive-through?
that was a pre-existing drive-through.
Right, but I
Been there.
thought we wanted to keep drive-throughs.
yeah, drive-through is a,
We're not eliminating the drive-throughs. It's just making it one thing, not drive up, drive-through. They're really the same thing.
So how many spaces would a restaurant be allowed? How many?
I think it's just drive-through
Yeah.
definition versus like a restaurant or a bank or a CVS or a.
So I think he's recommending we just come up with one definition.
Yeah, so drive-through or drive up, so drive-through replaces it?
Yeah.
I
drive-through is more common. I've never heard of drive-up.
drive up.
Is that
window.
common,
Yeah, at the bank, it was always drive up.
up, to use that term? Okay.
It's more the action of what you're doing as opposed to,
Right.
You actually stop, drive, you don't only drive through it, you stop
You
too.
throw the money out.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should just pick one and go with it. I think it's, this is,
If drive-through is
something-
more common, why not?
I'm fine with,
I like the term drive-through, I'm used to
I'm
that.
fine with either one, and
Let's do it.
we all know what it means.
So we're gonna keep drive-through.
all right, keep drive-through. What about the queuing? Do you want to make the queuing for the banks and ATMs the same?
Basically, the queuing provides for up to 3 cars.
It's people
Yeah.
waiting to
Right.
get into it, yeah.
So,
Can we say 3, 2, 6? I mean, I don't see why.
3, 2, 6.
326, I'm not sure what you mean.
3
3 to
hyphen 6.
No, it has, you pick a number and, because it's not I mean, a bank's a bank.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with 3.
I'm fine with 3
I
too.
think if we were on Route 9 or something like that, maybe then you provide for more spaces to queue.
Okay, so
I've
3
seen
spaces.
any- Yeah,
Yeah,
And do you want to add language to allow multiple lanes?
to permit them but not require them.
Yeah, to allow them, not require them.
I don't see why not.
I see no reason not to.
I mean, it's planning board approval, right, the site plan, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, with that comes a little bit of other language to make them safe, because they're usually next to each other.
Right.
And you still have to have a pass-by lane.
A pass-by lane means that somebody has come around and decides they don't want to do either one, right?
To some extent.
They don't want to use the ATM or talk to a person,
Yeah.
They don't want to wait.
and they don't want to wait.
It's probably the most.
Makes
useful.
sense, yeah, right?
that's what we do in Rhinebeck.
McDonald's and all those places have that
Okay.
too, right?
Those are easy. Fine.
Not here.
Are we good with this?
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one is parking area landscaping. It really, the focus of this is the one standard that I can see having an issue with smaller lots would be the 15% standard, because it's defined by the outer limits of the parking pavement. So obviously, if you only had like 10 or 12 spaces or 15 spaces, you could just have one row, and you may have end islands, but you don't really have any islands. So we can make this a threshold, this standard, the 15% standard, apply to parking lots of 15 or less, 20 spaces or less, whichever makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, I understand that, yeah, the requirement of establishing islands in a very small parking lot is not practical. Essentially, is that what
Yeah,
they're talking about?
Is there any way to get around this by just saying based on site plan approval?
well, that would be the other ways that we put in an out, but then I think we talked about that with the ZRC a little bit. The trouble is, if you give the out is for everybody, not just small lots. So it could get abused and not
So
apply
maybe-
to bigger lots.
Parking spaces, do you feel,
Yeah.
Edie, under so many
Set a
based on
number,
site?
set a number.
Set a number, but I don't know what that minimum number would appropriately be.
Is it both?
Will, do you
islands
have any suggestions about that?
Yeah,
What-
I wouldn't exceed 20. I'd be 20 or less, 15 or less, something like that.
Mhm.
I think 20, or I don't know, anyone? Yeah. Bill, do you remember?
All right.
No, I wasn't pointing at you.
20, I guess?
20 is fine by
Yeah.
me.
How many parking spaces, Lana, were there behind the bank? Just to give us a frame of reference, the Salisbury Bank.
Mhm.
Okay.
Should we look out the window and count?
I can almost visualize, but it's
10.
less than 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were not 20 of them.
I would say 15. is
15 or
better.
less.
Big have islands.
15?
Can they
Mhm.
choose between landscaped islands and shade tree coverage?
No, they're two different things. I mean, they work together.
So
One
we're
of the
saying-
challenges in a very small lot,
Right,
to
it
have
didn't work
shade
well.
trees, increasingly now you have to really have a big root. You know, it has to
Yeah,
be wire
and
so that the roots can
And it-
survive. Which
And
of
it
course
buckles
reduces the
down.
amount of parking.
Parking.
So 15 is a recommendation? Edie, is that?
Well, I wouldn't go higher than that.
All right, 15 is
15?
fine by me.
Okay.
Right?
All right. The next one,
Yeah.
retail car wash. The current draft does prohibit, it doesn't allow retail washing by the standalone use. It does allow an accessory, these uses to do their own car washing as a service to customers. It does need to come out of the queue. It should come out of the queue tables because that would be inconsistent.
Fully agree.
I
I've been
agree.
saying this for about 5 months.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
that's easy. Signs. We could talk about this for days.
Well, let me make a comment. The people who are reviewing this are all new at the Dutchess County Planning. And I don't think they were privy to the fact of how much time we spent with their lawyer who left about 2 years ago
Uh-huh.
on signs.
Right.
Okay.
So unless you're, I think, and we've gone through, we had our attorney Paul Van Koot involved. I think we're okay on signs.
Okay.
leave it as is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've gone over that thoroughly with the attorney who advised you, I didn't see any problems.
No, good.
Inconsistency with the holding of the Supreme Court.
Heather Lavarney,
It's very hard to figure out that decision anyway.
And there's been decisions since,
What?
and
There've
there's been decisions since that are more on point.
But in your review, you didn't find.
oh, we've made lots of changes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no.
nothing that still exists.
And after Heather Lavarnier from Dutchess County Planning, who spent a lot of time with us back and forth, then we had Paul Van Koot, who's very aware of signs in this case.
Right.
And yeah, I think we've done signs to death
Okay.
in terms of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we find that there are any problems, if somebody challenges our sign regulations, we'll deal with it.
On to cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first issue for cannabis is separation. You know, I have a feeling we had this in an earlier drafts with the ZRC, and I don't know how it got lost, but so obviously we have to do the 500 feet for the schools. I would suggest, again, it's up to you all, just changing it, all the 200 to 500 and not get into multiple numbers, too many multiple numbers. Just keep it simple.
So move it from 200 feet to 500 feet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
shouldn't it just be aligned with the law? Or
Well,
see the law?
You can be more restrictive. You don't have to just do what the law, the minimum the law requires.
Well, though, but the new rulemaking, they can't be overly restrictive.
Yeah.
Can't be overly restrictive, but you can be more restrictive. I don't think 500 is what it is for schools. You're all saying 200 for these other things. You can make them 500. I don't think that's overly restrictive.
The language is unreasonably impracticable.
But they also say not the same road too, right? Do we say that?
Well, it says and, so I think it doesn't mean, for instance, this doesn't mean you couldn't have a dispensary on Route 22. It says you can't have it if it's on 22 and within 500 feet.
Yeah, that would be the only way I would interpret that, because otherwise that road would extend to the next town.
Right. Yeah. I'll take another look at this because we just had an issue before one of those boards I represent on that. We had to invoke the preemption.
I'm happy with moving that to 500.
I just want to make sure ours complies with the state law.
Okay, but it appears to,
Ours says 200 feet now,
Because
right?
this was changed,
okay,
the law was changed after we created our cannabis law.
okay, but if we change this to 500 feet, and then if you look at that and see
I'll
whether
let you know if
500
that's a
is now
problem.
changed to something else,
Yeah,
let us know.
let me look at this over again, and I have the regulations from the state, and just make sure that we don't violate any.
Yeah, I looked at them this morning, and we're fine, I think, but you can take a look.
Yeah, I'll just take another look. We haven't had any applications for schools.
No.
It's just the beginning.
The village has one.
Yeah,
Does it?
they're
open.
going to, and
Really? Oh.
they might be close to 200 feet to the far.
I don't know if you all heard, but Massachusetts is pursuing recriminalizing marijuana.
Ah,
Okay.
Are
let's
you
move
serious?
on.
Yep.
They have so many cannabis
Yeah,
places. If you go on the turnpike, and you get
You
to,
could smell it.
you see the signs. It's just-
well, they were ahead of the game, so they had all of New York and all of Connecticut driving up there. Now that is changing,
Yeah, Great Barrington had
that I wouldn't be in, we'll see what happens to the 5 that are in Great Barrington. It may not be
I mean,
5.
they're just.
It may not be 5 in another
The
year.
small town that we go to, in the Cape has 3 of them. I mean, it's 500 people.
Let's keep going.
So the other half to that is the separation distance and how to measure it. And like other things that have separation distances, I've always been a fan of not doing door to door. I've always done it from lot to lot, and that is what the current draft is. That is technically more restrictive than door to door. but again, it's not crazy more restrictive. It's just much easier to measure, more reliable. And if you had a shopping center with like 10 stores in it and the cannabis was in this location at one end, well, depending on the door-to-door measurement, it may not be okay at the other end. And that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So again, I would just leave it the way it is, which is lot to lot, not door to door.
Okay, I'll double check.
I'm happy leaving it.
Well, Warren's gonna double check, he said. That's-
Roadside farm stand?
Again, I assume this is a phase 2 thing.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's an ag and markets thing.
Okay. Mm,
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Phase 2.
Phase two.
So the second comment there about attachment 1R, the reason farm store isn't in 1R is because it's in 2R, which is an accessory use. It is listed in the accessory use. So the county missed that, or whoever made it.
Which point is that?
That's under attachments 1R.
But aren't they?
They're accessory uses.
Right, but
And there is a separate table for accessory uses in the residential.
So they're listed.
do they need to just change the word from farm market to farm store? Or vice versa, like we talked about earlier? Is that their point too?
No, the draft code is changing the farm market term from the existing code to farm store because it didn't want to confuse it with a farmer's market. It wanted to be the farm store on the farm. And they didn't find it in the permitted use schedule. And the reason is because they were looking at the wrong schedule. They should have been looking at the accessory use
Because
schedule.
it's an accessory use.
Gotcha, okay.
He's right.
Okay. Their comments about the cage poultry and the farm pig, that came up from others too. My suggestion, we just drop these definitions, we drop these uses, and we just leave it at farm operations.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Okay,
Moving on to the, oh, sorry.
Okay.
what's the next one, Evie, that you want to go over?
The Northeast Planning Board comments.
Okay, Northeast planning. Okay, so the first one is confusion over the 5% area. I mean, I don't find it confusing, but then again, I read this stuff all the time.
I think.
I could break it up into more sentences, so it's, more specific to the point it's trying to make. And that would be clearer.
So the display showroom cannot exceed 5%? Is that the point?
Yeah.
Right.
So can we just say as 2 sentences? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll break it up into sentences so it stands on its own and it's more clear.
Just go over that. I missed that.
So they did it like a run-on sentence. They
Right.
said, they're describing all these things under a workshop in the office space, and it's a run-on sentence. like, not
Oh, I
exceeding
got it,
5%.
We'll make
Okay.
it 2 sentences.
Okay, okay.
And I don't know, that might be used in other places. I'll do a search and make sure anyone that has this kind of thing will clean up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The definition for small wind energy, that's the existing definition since 1990. We didn't do anything to it. I'm not sure what's confusing about it, but if someone wants to tell me, do something different with it, I'm happy to do that.
I wouldn't change it.
Don't change it at this point.
It's not in the definitions, though. I think that's their point, isn't it?
Oh, it is in the definition.
Where?
This is basically a home window.
I got it, but where is it in the definitions under SN?
Swax. SW. You see it?
Is this another one that can be left till phase two?
I think they're saying it's just missing.
They're
It's
recommending
not
it.
missing.
It's on page
29.
29.
37.
Yeah, 37 PDF,
Wait a second.
29.
29?
Yeah, 29.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So why
just,
do they think it's not
I
there?
don't know.
Okay.
It's a long document.
Oh, maybe
might have
they
missed
have
it.
the one before it or something. Okay.
It's fine.
The 180.
That sounds like a correct definition.
Okay.
Okay, so that's fine.
Seems to be, yeah.
Do you have experience, I'm moving to the next point, with setting approval, site plan approval expirations?
Absolutely. I can add a few sentences that deal with it.
And what is typical?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember what they are, but there's so many days for you to get a building permit and to get a CO and all those kinds of things. So it's really tied to the permitting, because once you start it, it has
Yeah.
so long, it's such amount of time to start. Then once you start, you have so much time to finish. So they're kind of moving targets in that regard.
I think our building permit is 1 year, and then you can apply for a permit to extend it for up to 3 on certain things, if I remember. It's on our fee schedule right now.
Well, it should be in our code.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I mean.
you don't
So,
want, it's very often that developers come back and want to extend the 1 year to 2 years of litigation over that. And planning boards actually, there's court decisions that have said that planning boards have the implied power to extend the time regardless of what's stated in their statute. So we had a case where the reading of the statute was 1 extension, and the court decided that you could, and we argued that in the discretion of the planning board, you could extend that.
What is the argument for giving a time limit on?
Because you want to get the project done and finished within a certain amount of time. You don't want it to fester, stay out there.
Well, that's one reason. The other reason is you don't want to sit on the shelf for 7 years, have your laws all changed, and then have something that doesn't comport
Right.
with the laws.
Okay.
so just our current fee schedule does say it's 1 year, the regular
Can you
one.
send that to Will?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then a permit
Probably
renewal is
zoning
1
permit
year.
or a building permit.
That's a building, so I don't know if one thing drives the other.
But don't we have a provision in here that the site plan and special use permit have to be completed within 1 year of the issuance?
We
of
have
the-
an expiration on special permits, which is in the existing code, which is being carried forth. We don't have, I didn't see anything for site plan specifically. And they are 2 different things, and they should have different expiration. But I can do that. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. we should.
All right.
And we've gotten rid of farm cage type poultry.
Okay.
Um,
Pop-up businesses.
okay, so they had in parentheses temporary business without a permanent structure. This is totally up to you all. I would not recommend a pop-up business in a business without a permanent structure. Pop-ups can be on vacant lots. Again, I don't recommend it. That's up to you guys. But the more simple way
Fireworks.
is to allow it in existing space that's approved that just happens to be vacant. And you allow it for a temporary time.
So you could have like fireworks, you could have a van selling vintage clothing. So the problem is if you don't want fireworks, but then the other thing, because it's sort of like a mobile food truck too, isn't one like a pop-up business in a way?
Yeah.
That's not what a lot of pop-up businesses are. I mean, they can be on vacant lots, but most of them are nowadays, well, pop-ups came more from an urban setting. They were using vacant spaces. You probably see at the Halloween Spirit store. I don't know if you have those near you. They come up every Halloween and they go into an existing vacant space in a shopping center. And then therefore,
It's normal. It's normal for people to use empty spaces now for businesses, so they have an opportunity to use and not rent it for the whole year or whatever.
But we don't have any current regulations for pop-up businesses.
yeah, I mean, we'd have to define it, we'd have to have some standards to it, whatever you want, have the terms, the temporary term.
I think it's a can of worms just to allow it without some sort of regulation. I don't think we have the time to chew into that. That would be subject to the next.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's so many different types, and you get into
Right.
defining it.
Selling clothing is one thing, selling fireworks is another.
Right.
Yeah,
Or fireworks, some fireworks, sparklers.
Okay,
All
Will,
right,
All right, so that's another day for you guys.
who else is?
What's the next comment, ma'am?
well, Rich, the CAC,
CAC, okay.
yes,
Okay, this is the first comment. It's a good comment, but it's also another can of worms. We had talked about this many times with the CRC about, do you want a wetlands law? Do you want to just keep it in the zone? How far do you want to go?
Oh, are we talking about that one or
we're
this one?
talking about the CAC.
No,
Then he submitted separate comments personally,
Oh, okay.
and it says CAC at the top.
All right,
okay.
wait a second. I'm not finding one.
I'm not finding mine.
It says CAC right at the top.
Here, I'll give this one first.
Oh, wait, I got it.
Okay.
And as you read them, I assume he meant DEC, not DEP.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
And also, so you can be aware, the 7 1-point-acre threshold isn't going to come into play for another couple of years. It's still 12.4 for DEC wetlands. But they also introduce a new category of smaller wetlands. And you have to go through a jurisdictional determination process with DEC to determine if those wetlands are regulated. They no longer are using the maps.
Yeah, I mean, this is big from that Association of Towns meeting in October. I mean, this is a huge changes are gonna happen.
And we have not even begun to address what we call the LC district.
Right,
It
and,
would be a part of this.
and they determine where the wetlands are, not us, so.
No, that's not true. You can
That's
regulate
what they
wetlands.
said.
You can regulate wetlands.
Towns
Okay.
regulate wetlands.
Well, they said by every property, but there's a PowerPoint presentation on it we can share.
No, the DEC regulates wetlands and changed their jurisdiction, and it's much more than it used to be. But that's just their jurisdiction. That doesn't keep the town can regulate the same or more than DEC does. That's up to each town. Each town is different. There are several towns that have separate wetland laws. There's towns that have them like you do in the zoning code with a little bit. That's all depending on what you want to do, because it's obviously more work and more people you have to put to it.
Will has always recommended that the town of Northeast consider developing a wetlands law.
Clinton was in the process of, I think, considering one that's become very acrimonious, I guess.
So maybe we should just work on this for the next round?
Yeah, I mean.
Or a separate law.
Yeah, we may not want to wait until phase 2.
Yeah, we may want to create a committee just to work on the
On
wetlands
wetlands.
law.
Yeah, because the changes are pretty significant. But you didn't make any changes to the wetlands
No, we've not really.
in the current, okay.
No, the thing we did, Warren, was we added the names of the specific water courses that were regulated.
Okay, so we're going to the next point.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is up to you guys if you want me to add this in.
For the EV having more than A minimum of 10%? Minimum of 10. And then ours says that.
Yeah, it's saying when you build a new parking lot that has 30 or more spaces, a minimum of 10% of those spaces should be EV ready, meaning there is a conduit that goes to those spaces that they can put the electrical connections to a charger. It isn't saying put in the charger, it's just saying put in basically the conduit.
But wouldn't that be sensible for any developer to do?
Right, but this is requiring it.
Yeah, this is requiring it.
Could we say suggest?
No, I think it should be required.
Is it unrealistic to think
No, this is just running a cable.
I know, but is
Beside
it
a sidewalk.
unrealistic to think 3 out of every 30 a person would have an EV charger?
It's
No,
not saying the
30 is a
charger.
lot of,
No.
30 is a lot of spaces.
So what do we have now?
Nothing.
In our,
Nothing.
we
Nothing,
have nothing?
no.
There's no requirement.
There wasn't an EV
It
in
was added.
1977.
No, but I thought we defined it in here and stuff.
Yes, we do.
I don't mean current, I mean in our
Chargers.
draft.
The charger, yeah,
Yeah,
not
this
the,
is just the
this is,
structure.
yeah.
This is a site plan issue.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
EV ready? Is that the word?
Yeah, and that just means you run the cable.
Not the cable, the conduit.
Excuse me, the conduit. Apologies. I'm such an engineer.
Are we gonna add,
30 parking spaces.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, this is for multifamily dwellings and things like that and shopping center.
Yeah, I mean, 30 is a lot.
Yeah,
It's hard to imagine anything out on the boulevard that, other than the shopping, than the
Yeah.
grocery store, which would have that many parking spaces.
Mhm.
I can't think of any others out there.
And 10% doesn't seem unreasonable.
No,
No, not at all.
I'm sure they'll put more on that.
well, they can't.
So maybe we do.
so we're gonna include that?
I'm fine with including it.
Was there a consensus?
Include it.
Okay,
Are these
Yes,
additional?
Rich Stalzer provided additional comments as a citizen.
Mhm.
okay,
generators, right?
you ready?
Right,
So-
Jen?
The generator would fall under ground mechanical equipment. So what this would say, this is an exception to the yard requirement. So absent this exception, all that stuff has to meet setbacks. But this is an exception that if the ground equipment is within 5 feet of the building or the structure that's being served, it can be in the side or rear yard, but no closer than 3 feet. If the mechanical unit or the generator was not within 5 feet of the building, it would have to meet the full setback.
Would have to what?
Meet the full
It
setback.
would have to meet the full setback. It was not within 5 feet of the building or structure. The other part of it is about the noise, because obviously generators can be noisier than air conditioners. So the other thing we could do is either leave it alone, or we could accept generators from having this exception.
Isn't 3 feet a little close to a property line? I mean, just in general? I mean, if you had a big AC thing, if you
They're
had,
noisy.
yeah.
Which,
Well, he's saying ground mounted mechanical equipment, so
So this would be.
You're in a
So
in
not
our
at that,
20
not at,
boulevard, it's possible to be that close.
This is just.
So is this just commercial or everything?
It's everything.
It's everything. And I will tell you that at my house, I'm within 3 feet, both my generator and my air conditioner.
Of your property line.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it all depends on how close the house is on the other side.
Right. I guess it also depends which.
I'm
zone you're in.
non-conforming, I'm very non-conforming.
Do we require, I don't remember, do you have to get a permit for a ground mounted generator?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
The other thing to remember is generators are used in emergency.
Right.
And the only
Yeah.
other
No.
time they're noisy is when they're being tested. You know, you gotta turn them on every once in a while, test them every once.
Right. And it's not for that long.
Yeah, it's not for long.
Vote not in our,
When they're testing them, it's not that long.
oh yeah, not the test, right?
And if you've got a limited space, because you already have safety restrictions that you have to adhere to.
Yeah.
So
They have to
I
be
just know that I
back.
just installed one, and if you don't have, I don't know,
The right.
if you don't have
distance.
enough area,
Mhm.
because you do have to adhere to the safety standards that you have to do, and sometimes that's about all you can do.
Would this come into play like in R 20,000 or something like that, or
Yes.
R1A kind of
Yes.
thing? So
Yes.
is 3 feet just like for any zone, or I guess if the
All
generator. I'm gonna say you
Okay.
can't put it there if you have too close to it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, you can't be very close to where your well is. There's quite a few guidelines for safety purposes. It has to be so far from the road.
I'm thinking.
Sure. Do we think 3 feet is okay then, because yours is?
No, yeah.
No, I'm saying, but you live in a very spacious area, right? But what about the
But I'm in
person?
the hamlet that has jammed together houses, so
Mhm.
I'm more like, our 20,000.
You are, okay.
You know, you can always get a variance. That would be a.
Yeah, that's, but it's
An area
another,
variance, if you can't meet the requirements, so it's not.
And if you're in a bigger lot area, your house is probably not on the property line, so this isn't even gonna come into play.
So I don't think.
So
Do you
leave it.
think
In
it's
the
worth
area.
So I think
changing?
we should add it.
What, the word generator?
You don't need to add anything. I mean, it already is what it already says it. It's, the things would be adding it, make it different.
Are backup generators ground mounted? All
Yes, they
ground-
are.
They're all
Mhm.
ground, mounted? They're on that pad, what is it?
that's been poured concrete.
They're not portable backup generator.
Or you can have a portable one,
Yeah.
but I think,
I don't
this
think
is
I-
referring to the,
Aren't all generators backup? I mean, they're backup power.
they are, but you have the kind that you pull out of your garage and you start,
Right,
or you have the kind like I do, which automatically.
It's
It's on
hardwired,
the-
it's
it's on the pad,
hardwired
it's
into your,
hardwired.
yeah,
Right.
it's hardwired in, the other ones are accessory,
And it has a cement pad that it is placed on.
and there's no way we're gonna regulate movable ones, so.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see why we need to. I mean, I think some of these other variables you're talking about, Lana, are gonna dictate where it could be anyway.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, yeah.
mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Well,
I think it's okay as is, but
I
I
do
mean, we're
too.
really talking about something that applies outside of the boulevard.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And,
Right.
you know, there are no neighbors living on the boulevard.
yeah, not yet.
And, no, that we know of. So, I don't see why we can't address this when we come to it.
Phase two, right?
Phase two.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back to it.
all right, so that's deferred.
All right. Off-street parking and loading.
Yeah, the reference he has, I think he meant 50F3F. And I agree with him. We should add the same thing in subsection 1, which is off-premise parking, so they both have the same provision.
But
Okay, moving on to the ownership of a property that has an additional dwelling unit.
I mean, I take this as like a property owner, maybe adding the word or trust. Because more and more people put their homes into living trust, right?
I have language that I can give you that I just did with another town, exact same issue.
I personally don't agree to add LLC partnership corporations. Because we're saying it must be the owner, right?
Well, the
He's
owner
saying
could be an
the owner
LLC
could
or
be
a
a
partnership.
corporation.
or- Yeah, it could be a corporation.
If it is a corporation,
The
Who
owner must
is-
live in it.
who is the owner that has to live in it if it's a corporation?
Right, that's, I think,
It's not a person.
right, so
Yes,
how
it
could
can
we
be.
regulate that?
It
So
could be.
One of those principles.
this is how I would, if you want to deal with them, because I don't know if you can exclude an LLC from doing this. What I've done with another town, it's been written is that at the time of application, they disclose all the members of the trust, the LLC, the corp, whatever it is. And that one of those persons that is a member of that entity has to be the resident occupant. And you can decide whether that has to be majority owner or just have any ownership within that group. And again, I have
The ownership- If the ownership is transferred, is there language for that?
Yeah, there's language about if you transfer it, you have to disclose that and obviously make it right.
But couldn't you run into problems with like timeshares?
No,
Nobody does time.
No, I'm just saying, like,
what we're
No,
dealing
you don't
with,
own the apartment. You don't own it.
do that.
Peg, what we're dealing with is the ability for people to have ADUs.
I get that.
And if you, I mean, if you spend time on parcel access, there are many properties that have a number
Oh,
of
definitely,
owners.
definitely, yeah.
So, I think that's what we're addressing.
Mhm.
But do you want to set a percentage ownership? I think you just need to have one of those owners living there. Person.
So why don't we look at what Will's already drafted and see
Yeah,
if
I
that's
think-
something-
This is
So the
an
thing
issue-
I have drafted did not get into restricting the majority that the town that I worked with just didn't care about that. They just wanted anybody as long as it was part of the ownership, but everyone's different, so there
I
was
agree
question
with
about
Your
majority.
town. I don't think we want to get into percentage ownership, not at all.
Okay,
I mean, it's an issue too, we didn't do short-term rental in this.
We have not
Yeah,
addressed
no,
that.
That's
at
gonna
all.
come up in
Yes,
short-term
next.
rental, too, whether it's
Yeah.
owner occupied or host.
That'll keep us busy for a
That'll keep
while.
you-
Yes, it's another one. The wetlands law.
well, there are a lot of examples of short-term rental laws, and by the way, I just wrote one too, so I can help you with that if you need to.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next one was occupation, we did that. Oh, the
Cool.
spin 1R, yeah, we should make that the same, that the R20 has the same 3-acre.
But R 20,000 is 43,000 for 1 acre, right? But isn't R 20,000 just 20,000 square feet?
Yeah,
So how can you
basically
say
a
it's
half an acre.
Because that's for
Yeah.
a house, that's for a house, it's not for something like a school. You can require other acreages by special permit in a zone that has a smaller acreage. And that's why you do a special permit.
Do we have lots bigger than 20,000 in R 20,000?
Oh, yeah. We have assemblages of 5 acres.
That's stupid, yeah.
We can't stop people from buying.
Yeah. I mean,
Right, many of them.
or
Yeah,
subdivided.
yeah.
Well, the other is you could also not allow schools in the 20,000 zone if you don't want to deal with the atmosphere.
maybe we get to this later.
Fine.
Well, I do think that we should change the chart now, and if you want to change what you do with it later, that's fine too, but I would.
What are you recommending we change?
Well, we left out, if you look at the chart, the 1R chart, and if you look at school, you'll see that it has a call out in the far right column that it has to have 3 acres in the R1A. We left out R20. If you look up 3-4 uses above it, I forgot what use it is. It is the same kind of idea, and it covers both the R1A and the 20,000 district in the same way.
Page,
Do you see that?
I think we're looking for it. You want to know, Warren, what page?
Yeah, what page? Which attachment page?
It's attachment R,
What?
1R.
and go down to institution.
1R.
If you go down to institutional use,
1R
I'm
is
getting it.
attachment.
No, on
Yeah.
attachments.
There's a lot, yeah.
Okay, so which one are we on?
so go to institutional uses on the chart.
Last time.
So the last item is school, but look at the second item, church or place of worship. That's the way it should read.
So you would put what you have against church down against school.
Yeah, and I would leave the 180-43 too.
Okay.
These types of institutions enjoy a certain protection under zoning laws. too.
Yeah, definitely.
Are we good?
Okay, 2 more to go.
2 more.
3 more, actually. We've got a new one. Let's move on to Bill Kish, 1 page.
8019, is that it? That one, Peter?
So Bill Kish's comments don't seem to indicate anything should be changed. His concerns are evident. He's been saying these for a long time, and he says if you change something else, then he would have concerns.
I just wanted you to confirm that it is, as he says, that EMD signs are only approved for municipal use.
I can double check, but that's my recollection, that that's what it's limited to.
Yeah, okay. Duly noted.
Didn't Bill have a knew about the minimum maximum spaces? He had shared with me that the verbiage is minimum maximum in certain areas for incentives. But do you
It's
wanna-
not in the, it's not in
the
his
packet.
comments.
No.
So should we come back to that?
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's a change we should make. That was a typo. That word whatever it was, should be reversed.
In max of incentives for
Yeah,
percentage of space to be used.
Oh, we made that, I
You
mean,
already made that
Yeah,
change? Okay.
yeah, that change needs to be done.
that was a typo.
Do you need it? So it's just gonna be red line then?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, moving on to Kathy Chow's comment. She presented at the meeting. and then
Yeah, I remember,
produced
I
this.
have her notes.
So the map change, is something Dutchess County would have to do for us.
Yes,
I think the problem there is it's probably also the resolution of the map, and I mean, ultimately that map should be digital. But Edie, we can coordinate that. You can coordinate that, right?
I do coordinate that, yeah.
What, on the map, oh, the labels?
Yeah.
They just I think they depending on what scale you print it at, they overlap the lines.
Yeah, and it's hard to read
It
the
is a
streets.
confusing map.
But now you can get them that big. You see what
I know,
put up
but,
there?
so when we have it digital, will we be able to just, attach it for someone to zoom in?
Yes.
Like just on our website with zoning?
Well, no, it'll be in the code.
It'll be in the code, so someone opens it up, they can see at the street level versus just a bunch of lines.
And you guys don't have a GIS system, do you?
A which system?
A geographic information system, digital map?
Yes.
We don't use it, I don't think, do we?
I don't know.
I mean, the county might have something, but
Yeah.
They asked us for that for the pro-housing community.
Mhm.
They have it, but I don't think we use it. It's the GIS map, because like Irondale, for example, that business district, it's a little hard to see what street it starts at and what it stops at, but
okay. Um, so the comments on agriculture. I don't know what you want to do with that.
Well, I guess the most substantive, and we discussed this at length, is allowing the sale of farm business machinery, et cetera, in both Boulevard East and Irondale. I believe we just left it in Irondale.
That's correct.
The thinking being that you just don't want, well, I don't know what the thinking should be. I mean, Boulevard East used to have a John Deere dealership. But I don't think the committee felt that was the highest and best use of our most valuable multifamily housing
that makes
to
sense.
put back John Deere.
Right.
So, but it's up to the board.
Yeah, I mean, I think the likelihood of getting a John Deere dealership here is slim to none. But, so I don't have a real problem with, a business selling farm machinery. If there were a
In
business,
Irondale, it's allowed in Irondale.
I understand. I don't have a problem with it being in Boulevard East. We have car dealerships there. It seems entirely consistent with selling large equipment, wheeled equipment. Again, I think it's, as we look at the farm industry around here, it is much reduced. And I think anything we could do to support it, increase it is a step in the right direction. I think it's very unlikely that we're going to get a farm machinery dealership. I mean, we have one essentially on Irondale.
Yes, we do. So you want to add it to BD?
Boulevard
East.
East, yeah.
Should we just do it like
It's on the chart.
SP?
Yeah,
I would do whatever the car dealership is.
Right.
yeah.
You're gonna add it to the Boulevard East.
Under agriculture, farm
Mhm.
equipment sales and rental.
Okay.
What does, it also refers to indoor farming, and I'm not sure what.
Hydroponics.
Hydroponic, all
Mhm.
right.
And cannabis, actually.
I was gonna say cannabis, but
Yeah, but
Mushrooms.
that comes under a whole separate,
I caught myself.
No, it's allowed in LC and in the harness.
He also grow mushrooms in enclosures too.
Yeah, yeah.
I have just a general question. So these charts of uses, is the implied understanding that if it's not there, you can't do it? Or if it's not there, you can apply for it?
If it's not there, it's not permitted.
It's prohibited.
It's prohibited.
And if it's X, it's not permitted. That's true in every zoning code.
All right, gotcha.
Okay.
Um,
Next one.
The next one refers to R1A and R2000. Can we get to that when we get into phase two?
Well, we must have something in the charts here.
So,
So we're prohibiting, market gardens, greenhouses, nursery, flower farms in the R1A and R2000.
again, we didn't address those districts at this time, so. I mean, if they fall into farming and they can do whatever, then they would be permitted.
I'm trying to find which,
I'm just trying to find, well, where it says that can't happen.
Well, she's just calling out some specific things which are undefined.
Mhm.
And it sounds like businesses of some sorts that would go in a residential district. I mean, I think this is all your phase two work. It's not really something I would deal with.
I think it is too.
And we've already addressed the third point under agriculture.
Okay. Artisan workshops,
So artisan workshops are permitted in the boulevard. They don't have the live component. I don't know if you want to really get into that. I don't know how much call you're really going to have for that.
I would think that you could apply for a variance.
well, if we allow for apartments within a commercial, right? And we were
Yeah,
encouraging
you
mixed
could live
use,
upstairs.
mixed use,
Yeah.
then it would cover that, right?
It just wouldn't be in the same space. That's all.
You know, you'd have an apartment upstairs and a shop downstairs.
I think we're never gonna be able to regulate this kind of thing anyway, so.
Well, I mean, he can't live in the store.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it'd be illegal.
People don't have apartments right now, so they have to live
some people
wherever.
live in their cars.
Yeah, they live in their cars, right?
Wow. You know.
Is
that's
there
a-
anything
that's a
here
whole
that
nother
we need
social
to-
issue.
nothing here that we need to change?
Not at this point. And the last point is basically a request to allow restaurants or food, retail food in Irondale. And people need to realize that Irondale is very tiny. And two,
I personally am, I've said this many times, I'm in support of restaurant, takeout, and retail bakery because by SP, by planning board site approval, because the park is gonna have the pool. We currently have Napa that could go out of business, could become a restaurant. There's 3 lots in between Napa and Irving Coffee Roasters. If Irving Coffee Roasters wanted to have a little restaurant or something at the side of it, why not? I just think, why not include it, like SP, because it could come up, it couldn't come up, so even though it's small, maybe something's gonna be torn down one of these days, and it would open up these opportunities, so I'm for it. I mean, it's my backyard too, I mean, I just think those are open spaces that can be, especially with the park expanding, but
Is it prohibited at the moment?
yes,
Yeah,
Any kind of food service?
yes. They have an X next to it.
But why?
Mhm.
That would be prohibited.
it was a wholesale. I mean, basically, it was where our wholesale businesses
I think
were
that's,
supposed to
so you're
be.
trying to encourage.
I
You
think
can
they're
have-
trying to
you
control
can have
that
a-
only
a
wholesales
deli
in that
that's
part, and I
consistent
think
with a
that's,
wholesale business next door.
I think the market should drive it, and we should allow the market to
Yeah.
drive need.
We're trying to
And-
encourage as much commerce as we.
I get it, but we don't have any restaurants either. I mean, if someone wants to get a sandwich, like, they're gonna drive and talk of the town might be closed.
Oh, they're gonna go to Four Brothers if they're there.
I don't, so, but that's personal, but I'm just saying, I don't
But I
see,
mean,
like, to
there
your
is a
point, to
restaurant.
your point, why not?
No,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay,
I mean, they certainly aren't gonna have the traffic for it.
So there are multiple categories of food. Do you want to allow them all?
Brew pub, I don't know.
So would their generator be going all day long?
No,
No,
the restaurant,
Why?
no,
They're
I'm
restaurant.
thinking of the food trucks.
but it's not in a
No.
residential,
It's not in-
it's not residential at this point, where Irondale begins and ends, because isn't
I'm
it
thinking of
Napa
22.
to, Napa to Irondale Road?
What
This
is,
is
do you
just
want to just
Irondale.
define Irondale for us? Remind us where it goes from and
oh,
to?
okay. It starts, I think Rob Cooper's Associated Lightning is actually half in the village and half.
It is
Okay, and it goes up,
to Bilby or further.
no, we'll get there. It goes up to the cutoff of Winchell Mountain. And Bilby, you're right, Bilby.
Right.
And that ends, then it switches sides. And it's really basically the old Duchess Diesel on the other side. That's the whole Magilla for Irondale. Now,
So I think it should be allowed, because they could tear
but
something
now the
down.
question is, fine, do you want all of these things allowed?
I mean, I don't
What
know.
do we have?
Brew pub.
Brew pub, well, we are allowing the caterer because that was a commercial
Mhm.
use. Restaurant takeout, retail, bakery, specialty foods.
Sure.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Why not?
No, I'm fine with it.
I'm never against.
Because you don't have to rely on the
Me either.
wastewater up there.
Exactly.
No.
It's not-
That's a whole
You know?
separate,
That's a whole.
that's a whole separate section.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Okay, and the last is what we received today from Henry Smedley.
Thank you.
Edie, weren't there comments at the hearing?
Kathleen's fine.
Oh, okay, well, you're right, well, okay, I think, Kathy Chow has provided in writing, Ed Covert was questioning enforcement, really wasn't suggesting changes. Rich Stoltz had provided the, additional, and then, he did not want, that's right. Rich wanted us to exclude ADUs in the LC district,
Which we're not dealing with.
which I think is a point well taken, but I don't think we should decide that.
For phase 2.
It's a phase 2 thing, because we're gonna have a very different LC district, I'm sure of that. Kevin was supportive. And his comments read like a comprehensive plan. Kathleen Spahn legitimately is concerned that our apartments, rental apartments could be turned into Airbnbs. We do allow 3-month leases.
And I'm gonna point out something where it's missing that wording in another section, so
Okay.
I'll get to that.
I guess this goes back to the required lease. Now, Airbnb, I believe, is a 30-day thing.
30 days.
It's 30 days. So
Usually.
we thought the 90 days was sufficient.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was our way with dealing with,
Yeah.
not dealing with short-term rentals at
Yeah,
this moment.
yeah.
Without getting into all that thing.
And I don't
We-
think that Kathleen had studied the code to understand it.
Yeah,
We
when I
had
spoke to her, she
Okay.
understood that what we were doing with like 90 days for the ADUs or.
Yeah.
Because we also talked about traveling nurses and things like that too, versus.
Was she comfortable after
Yeah.
that? Okay, then we've looked after Kathleen, but we certainly know that Airbnbs need to be addressed,
Right, or short-term rentals.
or short-term, whatever you call it. Rob Cooper was just complimentary and Tyler was Tyler. He did reference the lack of enforcement.
And I just
And those are my comments at the end.
Thank you.
Actually, Bill Kish had brought it to my attention, and I agree with him totally that an ADU should not allow a separate road cut. That an ADU must be serviced
shared.
by.
The existing.
The
by
existing driveway.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's good.
And the other thing that we have not addressed in our ADU language is some kind of a maximum size, because we do have 10,000 square feet houses.
And we said 30%.
Yeah, so 35, I think.
Yeah.
So we don't need 3,500 square feet ADUs.
That's a big ADU.
Yeah, and Will had thought 1,200 to 1,500 should be the max, but to set a max. And I would strongly encourage you to come up with a number.
I think 1,500 is fair, because we set up the 2-bedroom.
It's 2 bedrooms, it's
Yeah.
true. But yeah, that was an omission.
Because if you think too, like some folks might change the top of their barn to an ADU or their attic or something, it could easily be like a loft space of 1,500.
Ask, what if the ADU is in the back of the lot that is next to a road?
Mhm.
It still cannot be, that road cannot be
You can't cut in
Cut
your
in.
driveway.
to, is that what we're saying?
You'd have to get a variance.
Get a variance.
I mean, essentially, it's supposed to be accessory to the property versus a single family home, because like even if, what is a tiny house, right? A tiny house is just a house that's smaller that everyone used to have. So 600 feet, but I think it moves to a small, actually, I think 1,200 is 1,200 to 1,500 is big enough.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go beyond 50.
Just for your sizing understanding, a 3-car garage is approximately 800 square feet. And that comfortably fits, I know you're going for 2 bedrooms, but that comfortably fits a large 1-bedroom, large bathroom, and a large size kitchen, dining room, living room, kind of open space. So,
I mean, I'm thinking of it more 10 by 15, so if you had it above a garage or if it's in a barn, that's very easily to have a 10 by 15. I mean, excuse me, yeah. No. Wait, 100,
that's only 150 square feet.
150 square feet, so I think 1,200 is fine.
That sounds good.
Is it
1,200.
1,200 or 1,500 or?
I think 1,200, and then we come back to it with residential phase 2, right? Like if we could look at it.
Oh,
might
yeah,
have
we
to come
can,
back to
we
it.
can tweak all of this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So there's another component to the size. So I think currently, I was just trying to look it up. Were we at 30 or 35%?
35.
So, hold on, let me go there.
I wanted to provide as much flexibility.
yeah.
At least that's something that Dutchess County planning. is
You
all
gotta
about.
be careful with that flexibility because you don't get the end result of what you're after. The whole point of ADUs is to have an alternative housing opportunity. You're not gonna get really deed restricted on it, but you're not trying to have luxury ADUs.
This is true.
So,
But we said 30%, so would we have to then take out the 30% requirement?
no, what I'm saying is it's really twofold. And it should be a percentage of the floor area of the principal with a maximum of 1,200, whichever is smaller.
That was my point, yeah.
Whichever is small.
Yeah, it's 35%. So I'm gonna have to add that language, whichever is smaller as well.
That makes sense.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Now, Meg, you had some things. or
Yeah,
we
some of
covered them?
it, some of it's.
Did we
not-
do Henry Smith?
Oh, I-
Henry.
I'm sorry, we got one more. Henry, interior, apologies, Henry.
Where is this coming from?
This is the email that came today.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
Okay. The first one we already dealt with, I think. That was the residential and a commercial, that was allowing
Yeah.
somebody to have living space.
Okay.
The second one is with regards to parking.
Interior garages.
It sounds like interior garages will be restricted to below the ground floor.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We're not restricting garages to be below
Right.
ground.
I think we don't use the wording to say you can have a parking garage, if I understand, so that's what's missing.
Do you want to say parking?
Well, if it's behind a business, I don't see, or an apartment building, I don't see why not, if there's space.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking.
Because I'm thinking, I mean, if it has to go to planning board for approval,
So, but you don't also want it in front, right? You want that to the back, right?
you said you don't want it to the, what did you say?
You don't want it towards the front, right? You want it towards the
No,
back.
no.
But could we also say it can't be a separate business? It must be owned by the primary business there, or
This was a discussion mostly about multifamily. When we came around to agreeing to that.
I mean, multi-level can be open, can be closed. I mean, it's a great use of space if we can stack parking. We don't have enough parking in our communities, right? And if it's behind the building, who would see it?
Right. Would
mean,
you
I-
restrict the height?
Well, we already have height restrictions in our code, what, of 30 feet?
Will, would we allow a parking structure?
I think a lot of this in the discussion with the ZRC was driven by Bill,
Yeah.
who didn't want the parking garages visible.
We were permitting parking structures that were partially below grade, especially at the back, because for instance, on Boulevard East and West on the south side, it slopes down. So there would be the opportunity for a parking garage that would enter from ground level on the back, but end up being somewhat below the first floor in front.
Well, you could invite Bill to state his case. Nope, okay.
I mean, I don't see why not if it's not a separate business. If it's accessory to the building that's there, or the residence or the business, I think it should be allowed. I wouldn't want it to just be a parking garage that's
I would
owned
agree.
privately.
Yeah, as the code stands, that's not listed as a permitted use. So that would have to be related to the facility that it relates to.
Would have to be an accessory.
So
Yeah, it's
the
already,
town- The town's
It's already
gonna-
implied, that is what he's saying, I think. It has to be part of the existing business, like you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's an accessory. That's,
I mean, I'm not against it. I think
so
the
what
amount of
change would
spaces
this,
should relate to, just as if you had like for your residents, right? The parking requirements that we have in our charter.
There's
already.
no suggested change here. It's just a
Okay,
question of
okay.
concern about water tables and so on, which.
well, I actually, and they're very legitimate given the area. we're
Very,
talking about.
very legitimate question, no question about it. It is something that any builder would need to address.
Well, don't they have to do the environmental impact
Yes,
study
and
anyway?
the building department is the floodplain manager. So they actually have that title as well.
So
this,
what are you saying? You're
yeah,
against
we
it?
do have to take a sentence out to get rid of the fact that it only can be underground.
Okay.
So if you're on, go to page, it's on page 130 of the code.
Draft code.
Draft
So
code.
180 is
And
PDF.
there is a sentence that says indoor garage parking shall be permitted underground beneath the ground floor. That obviously is restrictive, so that sentence would have to come out for it to be anywhere above ground.
PDF 138, so.
So it's just a matter of striking that sentence and then it's.
Yeah.
All right.
While we're on that, oh, I'm sorry, no, I'm jumping.
Well, let's just make sure.
Yeah,
Let's
go
get,
ahead.
Take the sentence out, Will, please.
Yep.
Okay, Meg.
Well, right below that, I mean, this is, are there any more on Henry's thing like that?
No.
Because 2 points under there, it just says, I mean, this is a small point, projects, this is multifamily, I think. Is this all multifamily or
This is,
multifamily? This whole section.
yep, multifamily.
Yeah, 0.7 just says projects shall be designed to include community amenities such as a clubhouse, swimming pool, sport courts, sitting areas, benches, gardens, walking paths, similar passive recreational social features. Should we just say encourage to do these things instead it must have it?
well, because it's completely vague. It says it must include, and then it
Right,
doesn't mean it has to include all of them, which is completely
right,
absurd.
right.
And it doesn't pick out one or the other.
Right,
So
encourage
I would,
to-
I would agree with that.
Yeah, encourage to include community amenities,
Right.
period, or examples, or Warren, you always have good language for
Yeah, let me
this.
just see this.
It's
'cause
right
I know
here.
He doesn't
It's right
refer
here.
to,
It's right here.
By suggesting what community amenities are, does it restrict it in any way to that list?
No,
No, they're just examples.
clubhouse, swimming, sport. You want to change that to encourage?
Well, it says projects shall be designed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's too, we shouldn't mandate that. Shall be encouraged
To design community amenities,
to provide
provide,
community amenities such as
and you should,
encouraged. Somebody will read that and say that it's mandatory.
yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I have just some housekeeping, easy, quick stuff.
Mhm.
Zoning, is it better to say the PDF page or the zoning page? Okay, under definitions, zoning page 22, PDF 30. Museum, we just said like 3-4 meetings ago, we were just gonna take out, like we did under gallery, the comment 3 lines up, not for purpose of promoting retail sales. We were gonna take that out before.
I'm sorry. Can you tell me where you are?
Liam?
Page.
The
Do you want
the document page is what I want.
22,
22? All right, hold on, let me get there.
under museum, because under gallery, we took that out, so. Okay, anyway, that's just a
So we're talking
small,
about museum?
yeah, we just had a statement before that we took out of gallery. We were gonna take it out of museum, we didn't do it, so that's just a quick one.
Have you got that one?
No, on page 22.
Yeah.
Under museum, third
Museum.
line up from the
All right,
bottom,
I'm not that fast to get there.
under museum.
One second.
Taking out, not for purposes of promoting.
Yeah, we took that out of gallery because it was just silly to say that because everyone wants to sell something, so. Anyway, we were gonna,
What did we take out?
we took out parentheses, not for purposes of promoting retail sales, parentheses.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
And then the next one is under restaurant takeout, page 26. We had agreed as a group a while ago to take out establishment includes no more than 12 patron seats, indoors or outdoors. We agreed to take that out and it was not taken out.
Okay, I don't remember that, but that's fine.
You weren't part of the meeting.
You want a part of that?
So, okay, so you have no limit.
Yeah, we didn't have a limit to,
Just to be silent on it.
yeah.
So how's that really different than a restaurant then?
It's a takeout. So like, why is it there then?
I think it's probably the parking standards are different because it doesn't have a lot of people hanging around and sitting there.
Actually, we have a restaurant called Pasture that has more than 12. It just opened. So that is considered a takeout restaurant and a sit-in. So we had decided to just take it out before.
Okay.
So
I mean, again, I just to look at the
we
parking.
just take it out. We agreed to it like months ago.
I'm not challenging that. I'm giving you what that impact is. The reason for the 12 seats was to differentiate it from a restaurant. Otherwise, it's no different than a restaurant.
I just think 12 is arbitrary. So that's 3 tables.
For,
And Tallow already has more than 3
I know,
tables.
but we're trying to create this for, you know, without specifics to a
I'm
particular.
giving them as an example. I'm not
Mhm.
saying
Mhm.
that I'm doing this just for them. I'm saying they are an example of a takeout and an eat-in, and 3 tables of 4 is, to me, is like to say you can only have 3 tables or 3 picnic tables or 2 picnic tables is sort of silly.
Mhm.
You know, picnic table could have 6
Right.
people at each one.
So again, the distinction is parking. And you could have a takeout restaurant that has 40 seats and is gonna have a third of the parking a restaurant.
It's
That's the differential, that's really the differential is parking.
Why don't you consider a limited number of seats?
Well, that's what the 12.
So we don't have a hard 12.
But this is a definition, it's not parking.
No, but the use, this is a definition of a use, and the use is permitted, and the use is in the parking table, and it says this is how many parking spaces you need if you're this use.
Yeah, I understand.
But should we just say based on planning board review or site plan approval? Seats based on site plan approval?
It sounds sensible to me, where the establishment includes seating as permitted during the site plan approval process or something. Leave it up to the planning board to decide. Some restaurants may want to have 14, 13.
Again, you're all losing the point. I don't disagree with what you're trying to do.
No, it's parking. It
Right.
really is.
Blake's back to parking.
I mean, why do we even have to say that? Because if the requirement for parking is a requirement for parking, and then you have this, doesn't one determine the other versus the number of chairs?
A restaurant requires much more parking than a takeout.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Right, because you're having people come in and out.
And you also have the drive-through or drive, whatever we decided it's gonna be called, up.
Drive-by.
No, I
This
mean,
is just-
Will has a good point.
The defining term,
This is the
it doesn't
definition.
change what the code says.
So a regular restaurant is requiring 13 spaces per 1,000 GFA. Takeout, because it doesn't have a lot of patrons, it tends to be smaller, is 4 spaces per 1,000. So it's a third of the amount of parking.
I mean, no one's gonna be enforcing this, so I just don't even understand why we have 12 in there, but I get it with the parking, but,
I'm inclined just to leave it for now.
okay.
Leave it at 12.
We can get back to it.
I mean, you can up that to 15 or something if you want, but
Sure.
Yeah, 15.
15.
Do I hear 16? Do I hear 18?
Maybe Maybe it should be 16, that's
Around
4 tables.
Yeah, it should be even
Yeah.
16, please.
16.
What's that?
16, please.
Okay. Week 16.
Right.
Now I'm hungry.
Okay, yes, I'm hungry. So Edie, wholesale distribution definition. Okay, it says, so this is page 33, PDF 41. The reason this has come back up is because in the use table, permitted uses, Napa, when I asked about Napa, it says no retail is allowed in Irondale right now. And I asked, well, isn't Napa, or if we started another store opened up right now that worked the same way and had retail, why would that be? I mean, number one, I think retail should be permitted in Irondale, but the last sentence says establishments that sell products to the general public, whether in part or in whole, are considered retail stores, not wholesale stores. So that contradicts us saying Napa is not a retail store.
It isn't. They went through tremendous.
No, but this
issues
says
to
whether
prove they
in,
were wholesale.
but whether in part or in whole is considered retail store, not wholesale. I'm just saying this definition contradicts the last point. Because we're saying it's not allowed in Irondale. That's my point. And right now we said bakeries are allowed, so that's a retail business. So I don't see why a retail store is not allowed in Irondale, but I'm just.
Having permitted food and prepared foods in Irondale, we may need to go back and look at that, because that would be a retail use.
No, it was commercial kitchen. What we approved was catering and commercial kitchen.
But now we just
But we-
changed.
Yeah, now you've changed it.
Yeah,
no,
so I
understand.
think we're gonna need to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I mean, I just
Are you
found,
directing Will to do
well, I
that?
don't know what's involved in doing that.
a check mark or an SP. Saying-
Yeah, that's all it is. You look at the list of the retail uses, and if you want to put them in Irondale, we'll just put them in Irondale.
It's just SP by building permit or not allowed. That's it.
Mhm.
And right now it says not allowed,
Yeah.
so. I think it should be updated to reflect us having,
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it should.
So you want to put all the retail uses in the Irondale? Is that what I'm hearing?
yes,
Your call.
just found two quick typos. This
I'm
is-
just saying, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Well, I'm not arguing for either one. The rationale, I think, was to fortify the village and let the boulevard be the extension of the village. And that's where the retail world should live. Not competing with each other everywhere in town.
Right, but we're rethinking that opportunities, what could show up, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just two typos, page 100 and 101, it just says R20 instead of R20,000 on the top of the page.
I'm sorry, say it again.
This page
100.
100 and page 101, it says R20 for the district versus R20,000.
So where it says R20 should be R20,000.
Right, because that's,
What's in the title? Yeah.
it's in the title. And then, I just had a basic question, Edie, under ADUs, 109, it says someone must have a zoning permit. What is a zoning permit? Because right now we just have building permits. Is this something we're gonna have to?
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Create.
develop.
Okay, great. And then under multifamily dwellings, page 114, this one just, Edie, this was the one that we dropped out. I'm sorry, oh no, that's not it. Oh, page 129. That one was multifamily. We dropped out the minimum rental time. Because we had it for apartments,
Mhm.
under page 131, that we said it had to be 3 months, a minimum of 3 months.
Right,
And we were supposed to have it for multifamily and it's not there.
What page are you on?
It's 130, 129.
Okay,
Under unit standards for, we have it, it was supposed to mimic each other from apartments over
commercial
commercial,
to multifamily.
and multifamily was also supposed to have it under unit standards, minimum 3 months.
okay. I'll do a search.
Thanks. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
So next steps.
We'll
My
have to make the
understanding is,
changes.
Oh, you're fine.
yeah, will have an opportunity to put these changes that we've discussed into a red line.
Mhm.
The public hearing is still open,
Right,
and the public hearing is still a hearing on the draft code as it was presented, without these changes.
right,
These are proposed changes, so that when we close the public hearing, these changes will then be presented to the public in the red line version so that people can see what changes they've been. And there will be an additional public hearing on those, as I understand that.
No, I think,
No?
We
Well-
can incorporate this if we get it in time.
yeah, we can get it in time.
So Warren, how much is enough time to give the public a legitimate time to look at the revision?
What is it, the meeting on the 3rd?
Yes.
Today's the 19th.
you have to do the EAF as well. That should be a part of your, I think, meeting.
Of the next meeting?
Yes, the, February 3rd.
Okay. Well, the EAF is done. We're gonna just review the. EAF.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been,
And
adopted by you.
And-
But you would do that with the adoption of the code.
Yeah, we do that
Oh, okay.
simultaneously.
Okay.
but we have to do seeker.
That is,
That's secret.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is secret.
That
So-
is it.
with the adoption of the code, the first thing you would do, I'm assuming, again, I'm just presuming what you end up doing is up to you. You would be issuing a negative declaration, and that would be, you would resolve that, and then the next thing you resolve is the adoption of the code, if that's the direction you're going.
So is there time for the public if we were to get these? I mean, it's what, 1, 2, 3 weeks from now?
So that's what I'm wondering from Warren, what is enough time for us?
There's, if we. I think we can have it
Actually,
done.
2 weeks, right?
Is it only 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks,
Oh, that's,
the 3rd.
that's gonna be tight. The public is not gonna, I mean.
Yeah,
we
I
have
think that's a little tight.
Yeah.
So the
Um,
other option you could do is have that meeting, but just table it and move it to another date and not do anything. That's up to you.
That's what I'm thinking. Are we
Table-
setting stone for the 3rd?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we,
recess without a set in stone.
Yeah, well, you can always adjourn.
Yeah, you would just adjourn it to another date, because you want to be date specific, so you don't have to renotice the legal notice. And just don't do anything, and then, plan
Keep it on.
time when we have things.
And then hopefully by the 3rd, we'll have the code amended in red line form, right?
Yeah.
So we can spend time at the meeting, because it's only devoted for the public hearing,
right,
going over the changes. And we can decide whether the changes warrant another meeting, or whether we can close the public hearing. and move
yeah,
on.
I mean, it is a board meeting with a public hearing.
Yeah, that we can do at the next board meeting.
And there's still opportunity on the 3rd for people to make comments.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll take the revised draft with the red lines and post it online so people can see the changes that we made, but it's. it is-
Well, again, my question is, how much lead time are you gonna do that?
I mean, our town board meetings are the 12th, right? And we talked about not combining zoning and that, but I don't know how
Well,
you guys
because
feel.
we really used up the last town board meeting really for the public hearing.
Yeah.
Let's, I think we should get to the 3rd and see where we are
Yeah,
and give
Can we get a-
ourselves the opportunity to continue it.
can we have this done 1 week before the 3rd? Well,
I can try, that gives you some, but I can do my best to do that.
okay, but definitely 5 days, we can do it 5 days.
5 days before the 3rd meeting.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have, it's too short a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that.
So I think we should have, as soon as Will can get the changes made, get it in red line form. We post that on the website.
Yeah.
Have it available to the public, and in addition, discuss it at the meeting. And we'll probably, more than likely, we have to adjourn the final adoption of the zoning code to the next meeting.
Yeah, which could be either at a board meeting or it could be a
So
special.
that could be a board meeting, because
Yeah.
we've done most of our work already.
Okay. Sounds good.
Will, does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right.
Is our meeting still at 6 on the 3rd?
No, it's at 5 on the 3rd.
And when is the next board, what's the next
Change
board
then,
meeting?
right?
12.
It changed from 6 to 5.
Yeah.
Thank
Let's try to keep on that schedule.
So your regular board meeting's on the 12th.
Yes, that doesn't change. That's as normal.
5 p.m. We get 6 p.m. before.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I wrote you about that.
okay. I
Yeah.
do, I'm sure it's in my book.
All right. All right, well, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, take care.
And so
Thank you.
Will, thank you very much.
I'm down the way.
you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I'm gonna give it back to you.
Actually,